What is going on, friend? Sean Don coming back with yet again another technical analysis. Here we have Nathen Borgan, good old Wilmington College, coached by Tristan Durr. Love to see everything that's going on over there with the hammer and the weight. Yet again, another good Division III hammer thrower on the come up. So let's take a look at this. But before we get into that, just want to let you guys know if you're interested in a technical analysis of your own or any other sort of online coaching, throws programming, lifting programming, coach consulting, athlete consulting, whatever you want, go to gripandrip.co. And if you want something that's not offered, shoot me a message. There's a contact page or DM me on Instagram, gripandrip.co or SD Throws. So, yeah. Once again, gripandrip.co, www.gripandrip.co. So, go check it out. Now's the time to do it. All right, let's get into it. So, let's take a look at Nathan's video. It's not the best, but you can see the broad shapes, and that's all you really need in hammer. You don't need to see, every little wrinkle on his shirt. We got ourselves a lefty. And I really dig the patience. I dig how grounded you look. I dig how stable you look.
Up on the right side, grounded through two, now go to work.
Yeah, really good patience. Pretty solid connection. So, let's get into it. Alrighty, so, fourth turn. I believe this was like 52-ish meters or something like that. Fourth turn left-handed. Alrighty, so in the winds. Facing the left very well. Flowing with the ball, hips moving, fluid. Love to see it. Shifting back over the right as the ball's on the left. Not too stiff. Step up's good. Stable, balanced. Opening up to the left pretty well. And then shifting back over to the right. Shifting back as the hammer goes to zero. Once again, with the quality of the video, it's very hard to tell, but it looks like your head's going a little bit early here. But it looks like your head goes early, but then you do a very good job of staying patient. And then once again, that fluidity of the hips, and it looks like everything is flowing and moving together. Your left leg doesn't turn the most, but I don't think that's a huge deal for you personally. Some people, if their left leg isn't turning, or their back leg isn't turning, then it can really mess them up a lot, because then they'll end up pulling with their front side or their right side. Your right side, I should say, being a left-handed thrower. But ball's going left, and like you're turning your hips and legs, and everything's moving together pretty well. Looks like long and relaxed as the hammer goes towards the sector. Not the best angle here, so you can't quite see, but you land grounded pretty well. With this not being directly back at zero, kind of exactly where this pole would be looking at you can't exactly tell where your hips are in terms of if they're underneath you or not on this catch, but I should say it's not the perfect view to tell. But it does look like your hips are a little bit back underneath you, which, once again, isn't a problem as long as you're patient enough, but it does get easier, and it is a little bit more efficient if your hips are more underneath you here. So your hips could be a little bit more forwards, especially your left hip a little bit more underneath you. I like how long and relaxed your upper body is, but make sure your chest doesn't get pulled forward. So just a reminder, not saying that's happening here, but that chest coming down and getting pulled forward if your hips are underneath you can be common. Then you ground that heel, and once again, it looks like your head, based on the blur that is your face, looks like it's going a little bit early, but then you're doing a good job staying long in the ball, long relaxed through the shoulders. You're shifting back over that back leg a little bit more towards the end of double support, which is good. Hips are getting up into it a little bit, which is nice. Long and relaxed, perhaps. You could be a bit taller. Chest up a little bit more, head up a little bit more, neck extended up, perhaps, to kind of stay on top. Is a cue that I like to think about, that I've heard people talking a lot about lately. So make sure the ball doesn't get on top of you, meaning your orbit doesn't get too steep here. So as long as the ball's going flat around and out towards 180, you're going to be good. But if it goes, let's say, too steep, let's say it pulls you down, pulls you forward in double support, and then goes up too high in single support, you're going to give yourself some problems. But it looks like the hammer's going out pretty well. Orbit's relatively flat through two, so that's good. And then it looks like the hip's more underneath you here, which is great. Both feet ground. Good patient yet again. Really turning back over this back leg. Love that. A little bit ahead of it, but not a huge deal. Like I said, very long and relaxed to the upper body, which is great. And then You can see your hips start to get up in it more. It looks like your right shoulder is coming up a little bit. I try to think about keeping that down a bit. Rolling the shoulders over through double support, keeping this right shoulder down. As you can see, like I said, this angle right here, kind of blurry, but it's going up just a bit. Hips are getting up into it pretty well, though. Ball's going out towards the sector. Looks like you have good tension, good connection, good direction. Ground, solid posture, torso pretty upright, hips underneath you again. Working back up. There could be perhaps a little bit more impulse backwards. Looks like you're on the edge of getting pulled forwards, which, you know, kind of, as I've said in many a video, should be a balance, tug of war where you don't win and the tug of war where the hammer doesn't win. You want to be perfectly tied, and it looks like that's about what's happening, but perhaps a little bit more pendulum backwards might help, because just like a little sturdier push with the legs as the hammer goes through 0. Getting a little bit ahead of it here, so you could really let the hammer pass a little bit more. Let it get just a bit more free. So maybe like if this is the ball at 0 right here, somewhere in these two frames, then as you can see, this right arm, that line from the ball through the right arm through the right shoulder is going back to 180. But I'd like to see just the ball get a little bit more ahead of you, because as you can see towards the end of double support, that right shoulder looks high again. You're a little bit ahead of the ball with the chest. Hips are moving with the ball, which is great. Still good tension, direction out towards the sector, super long, relaxed shoulders. That's great. Hips getting really up into the single support, which is awesome. And then you catch, hips underneath you, back over the right side. And then you're coming through in the finish, but you're a little bit heavy, like I said. So maybe this is a sign that your left leg, isn't doing enough. Your left leg lands. You're very heavy in this left leg, and you pull off a little too much on the left side, which is an indicator that, like I said, the ball is not getting free enough. If you let the ball go, so I'm 2 turns back now, if you let the ball get a little bit more ahead after 2, that'll pull you, or I should say, keep you in balance more around this right foot, around the front foot. Okay? If you're not letting the ball pass enough, that means you're going to pull back and be heavier on this back leg, which is kind of a good thing to an extent, but you want to, like I said, be balanced with it, where right now you're just a little bit ahead of it, a little bit overpowering it. And then same thing, 3 into 4, a little bit ahead of it, back heavy on this back leg. And then you're going to land heavy on that back leg again and finish heavy on that back leg and kind of pull off a little bit. But so that comes down to, like I said, letting the hammer go a little bit more around the right. Sorry if I've said around the left earlier. I just realizing that I might have said that, but as the hammer goes around you towards 270, or around towards the right, towards 3 o'clock, whatever you want to call it, as the hammer goes around your right side, you need to let the hammer get a little bit more free. That'll pull you into balance, keep you centered instead of being too far back. Like I said, you need to kind of be the center, the eye of the storm, the eye of the tornado, if you will. You're pulling back just a little bit too much, and that's why you're a little bit heavy each catch, and then towards the end of double support. Just need a little bit more balance with the ball, a little bit more patience. So, yeah, things are pretty solid here for an early season mark. Things are looking nice. Good patience is really the big thing here. Good connection. It looks like good tension is very nice, but like I said, just a little bit more patience, waiting for the hammer a little bit more, letting it get just a little bit more free. And that comes back to, like I said, even in the entry a little bit, making sure this head isn't turning ahead too much. You want to feel the hammer create the tension here, whereas like you can see if this head goes boom right there, as you're creating a little bit of tension. You do a decent job of waiting for it to get ahead, or waiting for it to catch up with you, I should say. And then from there, it's kind of the same thing. The right side goes a little bit early. Head goes a little bit early. Same thing. Shoulder and head go a little bit early. Okay, so like things are close, very close. You just need to have the idea of letting the hammer get a little bit more out in front of you towards, let's say, think like 45 degrees after 0 for you. So what would that be? If you want to use the standard terms of saying that to the right is 270, then you need to let the hammer get a little bit more free, about 315 degrees. Or if you want to flip it and speak left-handed, about 45 degrees after 0. Like I said, 45 degrees. Let the ball get a little bit more ahead of you. Feel the ball stretch. Feel the ball pull you create the tension, not you creating the tension on the ball. So, yeah, but pretty close stuff. Pretty close stuff. So yeah, Nathen, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, I'm always happy to help. Like I said, I love helping out the D3 guys and Tristan and all the guys at Wilmington. Love to see you guys working hard and getting after it and taking hammer throwing in Ohio in Division 3 to the next level, hopefully. So, yeah, if anybody else out there, like I said, would like any coaching, go to gripandrip.co, technical analysis, throws programming, lifting programming, consulting. I got it. I do it all. So now's the time to sign up if you want to make those big gains before championship season at the end of this month or at the beginning of next month. All right. So that's it. gripandrip.co. Go check it out. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Sean Don signing off.